last night.
I'm focused on Caitlin's numbers. The regular season just started. They ain't gonna win every game. They outscored them 25-15 in the fourth quarter. It just came up short. She finished with 27. She had 5 threes. She pulled up from 30 for one of them. She hit back-to-back threes in the fourth quarter. The girl doing her thing. I'm looking at a number right here. At the start of this is her second season, just her second season, and she's already set the all-time WNBA career record with her 6th 25-point, 10-assist game. Caitlin Clark is the truth. She's the real deal.
When Stephen A. Smith was asked whether he cared more about the team's loss or Caitlin Clark's incredible stats after she broke yet another record, his answer was crystal clear. He was all about those numbers. Look, the regular season just started, and nobody's going undefeated. Sure, the team came roaring back in the fourth quarter, outscoring their opponents 25-15, but they came up just short.
And she's not going anywhere. Now we got to see what Paige Beckers does in Dallas, now that she's a WNBA player, and we can't wait until our girl get healthy, Juju Watkins, and she ultimately ends up leaving college and coming to the WNBA. If the future is bright for the WNBA. Yes, Eminem, Monica McNutt. Yes, Janae Ogumake. Yes, Andrea Carter, L. Duncan, and the rest of the crew. Stephen A., your boy.
What really caught everyone's attention was Clark's performance, 27 points and 5 3-pointers, including one from way downtown that had everyone jumping out of their seats. She was absolutely unconscious from deep during that fourth quarter run, hitting back-to-back threes that reminded you why she's so special. Here's what's really wild about this whole situation. We're talking about someone who's basically still a kid in basketball terms. Clark just notched her 6th game with 25 points and 10 assists, which is now a WNBA record. Smith didn't hold back, calling her absolutely legitimate and the real deal who's here to stay. He's already looking ahead too, talking about how excited he is to see what Paige Buchers brings to Dallas and hoping Juju Watkins can bounce back from her injury to make the jump to the pros.
It's going to be watching the WNBA. And by the way, I want my courtside seats. These girls are supposed to have some clout. Work it out. You too, Molly. You got some clout. Work it out. I am at a point in time in my life where I am not going to a WNBA game and being upstairs or in the media box.
Okay, we got it. We got some clout. We're going to work it out. You got some bars, and that was supposed to be. That was
you haven't done it yet, Molly.
Okay, that was a quick take.
One thing I can definitely agree on with Stephen A. Smith is that Caitlin Clark is the truth, man.
The future of women's basketball looks incredible right now. Smith name-dropped players like Monica McBride, Jana Ogie, Andrea Carter, and Lex Duncan. All these young talents coming up. He even joked about wanting those premium courtside seats because these players have serious pull and connections now. But let's talk about what Clark's really doing to the record books. When you look at her career path, it's honestly mind-blowing. She hasn't even played 50 games yet, but she's already matching records that took Diana Taurasi her entire career to set. The comparison with how many games veteran players needed versus Clark's game count is just ridiculous. People are throwing around Oscar Robertson comparisons, and honestly, it's not that crazy.
Something special, okay? Now, look at this stat. Look at this stat, dog. Most 20-point, 10-assist games. She haven't even made it to 50 games yet, all right? She hasn't even made it to 50 games and already tied it with Diana Taurasi. Oh, my goodness.
She's already caught up to Candace Parker's triple-double record and is chasing down Alyssa Thomas, who sits at 15. This rookie is literally rewriting the WNBA history books in real time, and we're all just here watching it happen. Now about that game-ending situation, there's definitely some stuff to unpack there. In crunch time, Clark seemed like the obvious choice to be handling the ball. The way that final play broke down had people scratching their heads. With the timeout still in their back pocket and enough time on the clock, they could have run something cleaner. Maybe a pick and roll to get Clark a better look.
And I mean, she's almost about to hit Courtney Vandersloot. And look how many games they've played to get to this number. Look how many games she's played. Oh my goodness, man. I believe Caitlin Clark might be the Oscar Robertson of the WNBA right now. I mean, this is nuts. This is nuts. She's also tied with Candace Parker with most triple doubles. Now she has a little way to beat Alyssa Thomas. I think she has 15. But fam, are you kidding me?
The play was supposed to go to Aaliyah Boston, but when Natasha Howard ended up with the shot, things got messy. Howard got 2 attempts in those final moments, and with 4 seconds still showing on the clock after her miss, there was definitely time to regroup. A smart timeout there could have prevented the whole breakdown and given them a fresh start. Some folks defended Coach Stephanie White, pointing out that Boston was the intended target. Fair enough, but when plays fall apart in those pressure moments, that's when timeout management becomes everything. Really, only Clark and Boston should have been touching the ball in those final seconds. They were the ones performing all game. Kelsey Mitchell would have been acceptable too, but those were clearly the hot hands.
Are you kidding me? She is scraping the record books right now. Scraping it. Just scratch the name off. Hey, let me just scratch this name off and put Caitlin Clark right here. Man, look, Caitlin is phenomenal right now, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing. I can't hold you. I think she might have one of the greatest seasons ever this year. I think she's going to drop a couple more triple doubles.
Don't get this twisted though. Stephanie White and her coaching staff deserve props for how they're developing this team. One questionable moment doesn't erase all the good work they're doing, but it shows how crucial those split-second decisions become when everything's on the line. Clark's shooting display was something else entirely. Those deep threes she was knocking down showcased exactly why she's in a class of her own. Her range and accuracy are just different from everyone else in the league. Sure, players like Sabrina Ionescu bring their own entertainment value, but Clark's complete package, the shooting, leadership, and playmaking, is unmatched right now.
I think this is going to be one amazing season for her, man. She's on a hot start right now. Honestly, last night, I think Caitlin Clark was the main player that should have been putting the ball up in the fourth quarter. Even with the play at the end, I don't even think she should have been inbounding the ball. To keep it a grand, I don't think she should have been inbounding the ball. There was a timeout left, and I think they had enough time to actually get the ball back to Caitlin.
All signs point to Clark being on an MVP track already. Her overall impact as a complete player has been better than anyone else this season. While players like Kelsey Plum have had big scoring nights, that 37-point explosion was nice. Clark's contributions across every category show just how valuable she really is. The season openers around the league were solid, with A'ja Wilson putting up good numbers in her debut. But Clark's triple-double performance? That might have been the best individual showing of all the opening games. The combination of scoring, dishing assists, and just controlling the game created a moment that set the bar incredibly high for the rest of the season.
And run a 2-man pick and roll before Howard just decided to just chuck the shot up. I mean, yeah, they had options, man. They had options. I feel like they should have went right back to Caitlin Clark. Even if you had her inbounding the ball, they should have went back to her. It is what it is. Even if they drew the play up to go to Aaliyah Boston, there's still no reason that Howard should have been putting the ball up, and no reason.
Clark's meteoric rise and record-breaking pace suggests she might be the transformational player the WNBA has been waiting for. Her ability to create excitement, shatter records, and deliver when it matters most means she's going to dominate MVP conversations all season long. The stats, the entertainment value, the leadership, it all positions her as a cornerstone for the league's continued growth and popularity.
The most viewed regular season game in 25 years. All of these most viewed games since always seem to feature that player, Caitlin Clark. Most viewed since? Oh, who played? Caitlin Clark, still an attraction, still a headline, still something people want to see. Now, I know people are going to be curious, so I actually found this for you folks. Last year's Fever vs. Sky games. I got y'all. Come on. Come on.
Caitlin Clark's second season opener was appointment television, and the numbers prove it. The Indiana Fever dominated the Chicago Sky on national TV, and nearly 3 million people tuned in to watch, including plenty who saw Angel Reese's visible frustration throughout the game. The viewership was absolutely massive. 7 million average viewers with a peak of 1 million. That's a whopping 115% increase from last year's regular season ABC game between the Aces and Liberty, which pulled in 1.3 million. The jump shows just how much extra eyeballs Clark brings to WNBA games.
Last year, game number 1, 1.53 million, 2.1 average. Second game, 2.2 average. Third game, 2.3 average with a 3.3 million peak. So last year, the third time these two teams matched up, the peak viewership was more than this year's. That's interesting.
This wasn't just a good number, it was historic. This game became the most watched WNBA regular season game in 25 years. And here's the pattern that keeps repeating. The highest rated WNBA games almost always feature Clark. Her drawing power isn't a fluke. It's consistent across different matchups and networks. Looking back at last year's Fever Sky games shows how the audience kept growing. Their first meeting averaged 1.53 million with a 2.1 million peak. The second game hit 2 million average viewers. The third reached 2.3 million average with a 3.3 million peak. Interestingly, while last year's third game had a higher peak than this season opener, the average was lower, meaning people stayed tuned in more consistently this time around.
Less average, but a bigger peak. Just some numbers for you guys. And then the conclusion. Last year, 1.6 million viewers, the Ion's most viewed WNBA telecast. Caitlin Clark continues to be box office. Continues, hey, Ma, Pa, come down. Let's watch Caitlin Clark on the telly. Yeah, Caitlin Clark's like that, folks.
Clark's box office appeal goes way beyond individual games. She's impacting the entire league. Those 7 million viewers watched her record a triple-double, saw Dana Evans climb to third on the WNBA all-time scoring list, and witnessed Angel Reese's intense reactions during key moments. The TV industry folks are already predicting Clark's sophomore season could be even bigger than her rookie year. This season opener against Chicago beat all 4 of their meetings from last season. The most watched previous game was a late June ESPN broadcast that drew 3 million, so this opener was a clear step up. When you compare this to Clark's ABC debut last season, her third career game drew 1.7 million viewers. The growth is remarkable. This opener had about 1 million more viewers, which is over 50% growth.
Caitlin Clark is like that. 2.7 million people tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark put up a triple-double. 2.7 million people tuned in to watch DeWanna Bonner hit third all-time on the WNBA scoring list.
These WNBA numbers are competing with major sports programming now. The 2.7 million average is almost matching the 2.8 million that ABC's NBA Saturday primetime averaged during the regular season. The WNBA opener also beat every single Major League Baseball game this season, including that highly anticipated Mets-Yankees game with Juan Soto's return to New York. The opening week comparison with the NBA is particularly striking. While NBA's opening week showed concerning drops, the WNBA opener was crushing multiple NBA broadcasts. ESPN's NBA Wednesday doubleheader averaged 1.6 million viewers, a 42% drop from the previous year. TNT's Thursday Spurs-Mavericks game drew 145 million. The ESPN Bucks-Sixers portion got 1.7 million. The WNBA Saturday opener beat all of these, showing just how competitive women's basketball has become on TV.
Let's continue, shall we? Let's continue, shall we? Clark's second season may be an even bigger draw than the first, judging by viewership for the Fevers opening against the Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. Saturday's Sky Fever WNBA regular season game averaged 2.7 million viewers on ABC.
Clark's impact goes beyond just one game's ratings. She's building a real audience for the league. These big viewership increases suggest her presence is successfully bringing new fans to women's basketball. People are actively choosing to watch WNBA games over other entertainment options, rearranging their Saturday plans to catch these games. The sustained growth from Clark's rookie season into her sophomore year shows her appeal might actually be expanding rather than fading. What started as curiosity about the highly touted rookie has turned into sustained viewership that keeps growing. This looks like long-term audience building, not just temporary novelty interest. While we don't have all the geographic and demographic breakdowns, the overall numbers clearly show broad national appeal. The consistency of high ratings across different opponents, venues, and broadcast partners proves that Clark's presence alone significantly impacts viewing decisions.
Marking the largest WNBA regular season audience since Memorial Day 2000 and the league's second largest audience of any kind over that span, trailing only last year's WNBA All-Star Game, another game that featured you-know-who. Indiana's blowout win, which peaked with 3.1 million viewers.
For the WNBA's business side, this is huge. Consistent high-rating games featuring Clark provide serious leverage for future TV deals and prove to sponsors and partners that the league is commercially viable. The rating success validates the investment in women's professional basketball as a growing entertainment property. Looking ahead, this early success sets high expectations for audience engagement throughout Clark's sophomore season. Her individual performance, team success, and compelling rivalries with players like Angel Reese create multiple storylines that keep viewers interested beyond just individual games. The TV success also highlights how important strategic scheduling and promotion around Clark's games has become. Networks and the league can use these rating patterns to maximize exposure and continue building the WNBA's national TV presence. These viewership achievements represent real progress for women's professional sports on television and show the potential for sustained audience growth when compelling athletes and storylines get properly promoted to national audiences.
Topped all 4 meetings of the Sky and Fever last season, the most watched of which was a late June matchup on ESPN that drew 2.3. Compared to Fever Liberty on ABC the opening Saturday of last season, Clark's third career game, viewership increased more than 50%. The first time people had a chance to watch Caitlin Clark on ABC, 1.7. The most recent time people had a chance to watch Caitlin Clark on ABC, somehow 1 million people came crawling out of the woodwork.
Caitlin Clark rewrote the WNBA record books in the most painful way possible, with a devastating 91-90 loss to the Atlanta Dream. The Indiana Fever's defeat was especially crushing given Clark's extraordinary individual performance throughout the game. The final seconds captured everything that could go wrong. With 7 seconds left and down by 1, Clark inbounded to Natasha Howard. The play was designed for Aaliyah Boston, but Atlanta's defense snuffed that out perfectly. Howard got a decent look, but Nia Coffey blocked her shot. Even after grabbing the offensive rebound for a second chance, the basketball gods just weren't having it. Free throw shooting killed them. The Fever went just 16 of 26 from the line, missing 10 crucial points in a 1-point game. Atlanta, meanwhile, knocked down 25 of 32 attempts. Howard struggled badly in the fourth quarter, missing all 4 of her free throws when the game was on the line. Boston also missed a key one during crunch time.
Angel Reese taking exception to being fouled by Caitlin Clark as she went up for a layup that she was probably going to miss anyway, let's be honest. And Angel came up ready to get some. Looked like she wanted to fight. And I gotta be honest, it didn't look like a flagrant foul to me. Just looked like a good basketball play. That is what Caitlin Clark described it as after the game. And Angel Reese, after the game, ultimately saying it was a basketball play as well. But she sure didn't act like she thought it was a basketball play when it happened. And this is the thing about Angel Reese, she's always talking out of both sides of her mouth. All that we're going to remember is her hopping up ready to fight over what looked like an ordinary, good, clean, hard foul. And as I've said, Angel Reese is the female Bill Laimbeer. So you could look at Caitlin Clark and say she's Michael Jordan. She's Larry Bird's skill set, Michael Jordan's star power. She's the only player in women's basketball that really matters. And Angel Reese has picked up some tangential notoriety by pointing to the ring finger and then coming into the league in the same year. And it's been the best thing that has ever happened to Angel Reese. Nobody would know who the she is if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, and that's just the truth.
The team showed incredible heart, fighting back from multiple double-digit deficits throughout the night, but their defense was all over the place for 4 quarters. Atlanta dropped 31 in the first and 32 in the third, while Indiana managed to hold them to just 13 and 15 in the second and fourth quarters. That inconsistency ultimately cost them. Coach Stephanie White didn't sugarcoat the defensive breakdowns after the game. She said the team lacked disruption and let Atlanta move the ball too easily. There were multiple coverage breakdowns with players not providing proper help defense. They played like 5 individuals instead of one cohesive unit, which good teams will exploit every time. Atlanta's game plan to slow down Clark worked pretty well. They threw multiple defenders at her and used full court pressure to disrupt her rhythm. Dream coach Carla Smesko explained they tried to keep the ball away from certain players, including Clark, while forcing tough shots. The Dream's interior presence dominated through Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones, who combined for 40 points and 21 rebounds. Ryan Howard chipped in 20 points with 4 threes to seal Atlanta's win. Indiana's defensive rotations broke down at crucial moments, with players looking unsure about their help assignments. Those split-second decisions that come from playing together were obviously missing, showing this squad is still building chemistry. The officiating became a major storyline and source of frustration. Coach White had to burn both challenges in the first half on what she called obvious missed calls. One challenge was used on a simple out-of-bounds play that should have been easy for the refs to get right. Clark's frustration with the officials became more and more visible as the game went on. Multiple drives to the basket involved clear contact without whistle calls. Her body language showed obvious disbelief after several no calls. Arms raised in protest heated discussions with officials that went nowhere. The officiating controversy spilled over to social media when Connor McCaffrey, Clark's boyfriend, posted criticism that quickly went viral. His post about the officials being in mid-season form generated thousands of retweets within hours as fans and analysts shared similar frustrations. Video evidence backed up many of the officiating complaints. Multiple possessions showed Clark getting bumped on drives without foul calls. One particularly obvious sequence had Clark getting contact while shooting a three, but officials ignored clear contact on her follow-through. These missed calls disrupted Indiana's entire offensive flow, creating a choppy stop-and-start game that prevented the Fever from getting into any rhythm. Clark addressed this directly, noting how the long challenge reviews and frequent fouls made it tough for the team to find their groove. Despite the crushing loss, Clark's individual performance was absolutely historic, breaking 6 different records while hitting 2 additional milestones. Clark tied Courtney Vandersloot's record for most games with 20 points and 10 assists in WNBA history, reaching 10 such performances. Here's the crazy part. Clark did this in just 42 games while Vandersloot needed 394 games to reach the same mark. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 350 career assists, doing it in 42 games. The previous record holder, Ticha Penicheiro, needed 47 games back in 1999. Legends like Sue Bird and Teresa Weatherspoon each needed 56 games for the same milestone. Clark broke Sabrina Ionescu's record of 5 games with 25 points and 10 assists, setting a new mark with 6 such performances. Ionescu took 5 years in the WNBA to set that previous record, while Clark topped it in her second season. She became the first player in WNBA history to open a season with back-to-back games of 20 points and 10 assists. Most players consider one such game per season a major accomplishment, but Clark started her sophomore year with 2 straight. Clark established herself as the first player in WNBA history with multiple games featuring 25 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, and 5 made threes. No other player has done this combination more than once, while Clark has done it multiple times in just 42 career games. Her final line against Atlanta: 27 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 5 threes on 9 of 20 shooting and 5 of 11 from deep. Clark also hit 2 additional milestones during the game. She became the 4th fastest player to score 800 career points, showing her rapid statistical growth across multiple categories. She also tied Chelsea Gray for 10th most double-doubles by a guard in WNBA history, reaching this mark in significantly fewer games than other players. These achievements highlight Clark's unique ability to excel at both elite passing and scoring simultaneously. She doesn't specialize in one area, she dominates both. Her consistency separates her from other young stars, as shown by those consecutive 20-point, 10-assist games to start the season. The scary thing for opponents is that Clark is still developing her skills while learning the league and building chemistry with teammates. Her current record-breaking pace suggests even greater things as she hits her prime years. Aaliyah Boston had a strong night with 24 points and 10 rebounds, earning praise from Coach White for battling Atlanta's imposing front court. Kelsey Mitchell added 24 points and showed the leadership qualities this young team needs. Lexi Hull provided valuable energy off the bench that impacted the game's momentum multiple times. The team's statistical improvements from last season are obvious despite ongoing chemistry issues. Indiana shows higher scoring, better assist percentages, and improved three-point shooting. Their offensive rating has jumped significantly even while players are still learning their roles. Veterans like Natasha Howard, Dana Evans, Sydney Colson, and Brianna Turner are still finding their optimal spots within the team structure. Sophie Cunningham hasn't played yet due to injury, meaning the roster remains incomplete. Coach White praised the team's fighting spirit and resilience throughout the contest. The ability to overcome double-digit deficits shows strong character and mental toughness. The chemistry between Clark, Boston, and Mitchell keeps developing while the coaching staff works to integrate veteran players effectively. This loss might actually help the team's growth more than an easy win would have. Clark acknowledged that games like this provide learning opportunities while the team continues building relationships and communication. The combination of Clark's record-breaking talent with the collective hunger following such a heartbreaking defeat creates a dangerous foundation for future success. When the team fixes correctable issues like free throw shooting, defensive rotations, and late-game execution, the rest of the WNBA should be worried. The performance against Atlanta revealed both the team's current limitations and their tremendous potential. 6 broken records in one night by Clark combined with strong showings from Boston and Mitchell suggests a bright future despite the immediate disappointment. Coach White knows the ongoing challenge of getting all 5 players coordinated on both ends. The talent foundation is there, chemistry keeps developing, and defensive improvements will come naturally. The free throw shooting will get better with practice and experience. This heartbreaking loss serves as a crucial learning experience for a young team with championship dreams. The combination of individual excellence and collective growth suggests Indiana's best performances are still ahead as the season moves forward.